No
What
more
are we
of that
driving at?
problem anymore.
Just it. We don't want to lose our accustomed standard of living. We also don't want to lose that freedom which we fought for and cherished ever since we became a nation. We're threatened once again, but we mean to make ourselves so strong that any aggressor will think twice before attacking us. So what do we do now? We work harder and longer at our jobs so that we can produce enough to build our strength against aggression, and at the same time maintain the high standard of living which has made our country the fine place to live in that it is. Remember, the better we produce, the stronger we grow. That's the American economic system. Bank employees are very conscientious people. Every month end, they labor long and hard to get the bank statements into the mail on time. And promptly, on the first day of the month, the statement reaches the depositor with the following result.
Those robbers. Those pocket-picking, penny-pinching, low-minded high-binders. Them burglars.
What in the world is the matter with you?
It's this bad-ratted bank statement.
Oh, dear, every month the same thing.
As usual, them high-priced no accountants with their automatic chiseling machines have got our checking accounts so piled up I don't know whether we're bankrupt or just broke.
Oh, don't talk silly, really. The only reason they keep our account at all is just for tips. It keeps the bookkeepers amused on rainy afternoons.
Oh, rainy afternoon, them balance jugglers. I'll withdraw the whole doggone account. That's what I'll withdraw the whole dog. $15 they're wrong for this time. $15. My figures show $130, and what do they show? $114.
That's $15?
At least.
Well, why don't you go down there tomorrow and take it up with them personally?
Oh, no. Every time I do that, they always show me where I made the mistake. I'll just quietly gather a little more evidence. It'll always...
Oh, dear, somebody's at the door, and I look aside. You let them in while I run and take off my apron and put on some clothes.
Okay, Tootsie. There goes the good stuff. She say about money in the bank as long as she's got me. You know the girl can't have everything and come in.
Good afternoon, Mr. McGee. You are Mr. McGee.
Well, if I ain't Bud, it's sure going to upset my wife. And if you've been sent over here from the Third National Bank to beg my pardon and try to get this statement back, you're out of luck. I'm saving this for evidence.
Oh, no, I'm not a banker, Mr. McGee. I am T. Orville White, New York.
What?
T. Orville White. You don't remember me, do you?
Thanks so bad you got me.
Well, I'm not surprised that you've forgotten, Mr. McGee. Generous impulses like yours are too spontaneous to be long remembered. And after all, it was 6 years ago.
What was 6 years ago?
The incident I referred to.
Mm-hmm.
6 years ago on the bus from Albany to Boston, I lost my wallet. And out of that whole busload of people, you were kind enough to lend me $4 to pay my fare. Remember? Yes. See this check? I've been carrying this for 6 years, knowing that someday business would take me through this position.
Well, Diogenes, boy, I did. A check for $4. But you did want to mail it to me, Dad.
Well, I wasn't too sure of the address.
Oh.
Besides, I wanted to hand it to you in person and thank you again for being a friend when I needed one. Well, I'll be running along.
No, my gosh, all the old man. Come in and sit down. It's a pleasure to meet a guy as honest as that. You just restored my faith in human nature.
Well, I'll just stay a moment, McGee. Nice home you have it.
You like it? Have a cigar, Orville?
Thanks, I have one.
You got two? Thanks. Boy, it's funny. You must be able to take yourself, Orville. What business are you in? Insurance or something?
No, I'm an engineer.
Yes? Well, what railroad?
Mining engineer.
Oh, down in the mine.
Yeah. Doing a little exploration for a group in the East right now. Not talk shop.
Oh, I didn't realize you had company. Don't get up, please.
Oh, Orville, I want you to meet my wife, Molly. This is T. Orville White, an old pal of mine from New York.
Oh, how do you do, I'm sure.
This is a great pleasure, Mrs. McGee. If I'd known what a lovely wife this lad had, I'd have been here sooner.
Oh, Mr. White. You New Yorkers.
You know what, Molly? Orville put the bite on me for $4 6 years ago and came all the way from New York to get that.
Isn't that nice?
Hmm?
Won't those other people be pleased when he gets back and tells them it's all settled?
What other people, Mrs. McGee?
You mean you didn't demand a note with 3 co-signers?
That's one on me. Ain't this great, though? Nothing like old friends getting together again.
So you're from New York, Mr. White. I've always wanted to see that town.
Yes, I just flew in this
Oh,
afternoon.
you're fooling, eh? That's a great way to travel, Orville. Fast, sir.
Yes.
I predict we'll all be flying in jet airplanes one of these days. I predict that we'll be able to get in a jet plane and fly to the moon, just like flying to the grocery store.
You've had a lot of experience, too, Mr. White.
Oh, really? Flying?
No predicting. Say, tell us about New York. I've always wanted to go to that town.
Well, it's a great little town, all right.
Yeah, it's a great little town. I'll never forget the last time I was in New York. Spent some time there on my way home from Paris. I love Paris. Spent a lot of time in Paris.
Well, that's where I'd like to go sometime. I've never
You
been.
should have been with me, boy. I could have showed you the spot. I spent a couple of years in France there. Had all my expenses paid, of course. I represented the government.
Oh, really? Diplomat, were you?
No, but private. But tell us about New York, Mr. White. I'd love to.
Yeah, tell her about it, Orv. It's a great little town, you know.
Well, I was raised there myself.
I'll never forget the last time I was there. When we come marching up Fifth Avenue, they started throwing ticker tape out the windows, and finally some guy threw an iron wastebasket and hit our second lieutenant on the noggin and knocked him colder than an icebox fire. Well, sir, I stepped forward and reorganized the ranks and took charge, and they promoted me to corporal right there on the field. I mean, right there on the corner of Fifth Avenue and Oak. It was the most exciting thing.
Back to Wistful Vista in a minute.
Hello, I'm your Richard Hudnut Beauty Advisor with news about a home permanent that lets you curl your hair to suit yourself. It's the new Richard Hudnut Home Permanent, and it gives you exactly the kind of wave or curl you happen to want. You get a choice of 3 different waving and drying methods, and exclusive beauty rinse neutralizer assures you best results no matter which method you use. For instance, if you like a casual hairdo, use the Richard Hudnut Pin Curl method. If you want a deeper, firmer wave, follow the Richard Hudnut Salon method. Or for a step-saving way to get nice, stringy curls, try the Richard Hudnut Arm Curler method. You'll find the easy directions for all 3 methods right inside the new Richard Hudnut Home Permanent package. So you really can curl your hair to suit yourself. Just remember, it's the new Richard Hudnut Home Permanent, the only wave in the world with beauty rinse neutralizer that gives you best results no matter which method you use.
I'm glad you're going to stay for dinner, Mr. White, if you don't mind taking pot luck with us.
Well, I consider myself very lucky, Mrs. McGee. I really shouldn't impose like this. I didn't mean to.
No trouble at all, Orville, old man. Maybe you'll tell us all about New York. Molly loves to.
Yes. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll go finish putting dinner on. It'll be ready in about 10 minutes.
Oh, great little girl you got there, McGee. You're welcome, my wife. Hit it off just great. I hope you get to New York sometime.
I sure hated to see leave, Molly. Great guy.
Very nice.
Isn't anybody going out of his way like that to pay a guy $4 that he borrowed 6 years, you know?
He had this nice manner, too. Did you notice how he held his mask in front of his face when he used the toothpick?
Stupid fucking college kid.
The Fibber McGee and Molly Show. NBC and Tums present Fibber McGee and Molly transcribed. The show is written by Phil Leslie and Bill Dent and directed by Max Hutton. Fibber and Molly will be with you in a minute.
Don Wilson speaking, and mighty glad to tell you about Tums Don't Wait Relief from Acid Indigestion. Don't wait relief. That's right, because Tums don't make you wait on glasses, spoons, water, and mixing. Instead, you eat Tums like candy, anytime, anywhere, and instantly, Tums start neutralizing the excess acid which might be caused by too much or too rich food, heavy smoking, or overindulgence. Right away, you start feeling Tums' gentle neutralizing action. So fast and effective, yet free of acid rebound. No wonder Tums are America's #1 choice for don't wait relief from heartburn and other acid stomach discomfort. Try Tums yourself, and always keep them handy in pocket or purse. Economical, too, only 10 cents a roll. After eating, before bed, you'll be thankful for a roll full of T-U-M-S, Tums for the tummy.
The Wistful Vista Women's Club has long maintained a club room where visiting servicemen may come on weekends for coffee and donuts and conversation. A problem confronts the club now, however, and Mrs. McGee is discussing it on the phone right now.
So I suggested that the room should be painted and dressed up a little, Mabel. Make it a little more homey looking for the boys. Yes, it really needs it. So who do you think they elected chairman of the fixing-up committee? Sure, me and my big mouth. Well, I'll think of something. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Who's that on the phone, Molly?
Me?
I mean besides.
Just Mabel, too. Why?
Seems like you've been on that phone all day with one gal or another. Just wondering. The guy said when he walked into the kitchen and took a big spoonful of boiling laundry, "What's cooking, kiddo?"
Oh, it's nothing for you to worry about, dear. I don't want to bother you with our lady-type troubles.
Oh, no, that's not the right attitude, my dear. After all, it's a husband's job to lighten at all times his wife's worries.
Oh, my.
And if she hasn't got any, he ought to provide some. Loosen up, Tootsie. What's the bind?
Well, you know our women's club runs a sort of a little servicemen's center on weekends where the boys can come for coffee and donuts and make their phone calls.
Oh, yeah, sure. You've been doing that a long time. What's the matter? High price of coffee going to force you to serve it in thimbles or something? I know a guy in the thimble business if you...
No, the coffee and the donuts are donated.
Good.
For that matter, the club room is rent-free, too, but the place is sort of run down looking, and we're trying to figure out how to fix it up a little. You know, brighten it up.
Oh, that.
It costs a darn much money to do anything these days, and the club has exactly $1.89 in the treasury.
That's about enough to have a good sign painted that says off limits, ain't it?
We'll figure out some way to raise money. Will you get the door? I've got some things on the stove, and I better take a look.
Okay, Tootsie. Now, there goes a good kid. If there was some way I could help her with her project. Come in.
Good morning, Droop Snoot. Where's your patient wife this morning?
She is in the kitchen, Frizzleface.
Oh?
And she's not a patient. She feels fine. So get that fee-hungry look off your mud-colored map.
Oh? I heard she had a troublesome little wart on her hands, and I thought she might want me to remove him by the scruff of the neck.
That's very amusing, George. Well, don't stand there. Toss your big fat satchel in the chair and set a spell.
Thank you.
You know the club room Molly's Women's Club runs for the servicemen on weekends, Doc?
Oh, sure, down at 3rd and Oak.
That's right.
Had a call there a couple of weeks ago. Visiting Marine stuck a coffee spoon in his eye. What about it?
Well, Molly's upset about the looks of the place. Says it's kind of run down and dingy looking, and the gals put her in charge of getting it redecorated.
So?
So, as usual, the club's got no dough. Molly's trying to figure out some...
Well, I'll toss a few bucks on the drum for the visiting warrior's son. I'm glad to.
Thought you would.
Those service centers mean a great deal to the boys, and the best is none too good for those
Keep
kids.
your voice down, Fatso.
Hmm?
I don't want Molly to hear this because I just got a great idea.
You got an idea?
Yeah.
I'm against it.
You haven't even heard it.
I've heard other ideas of yours.
Pipe down, will you? Now listen.
Okay.
I'm going to paint that joint and clean it up and redecorate it myself. I'll get a few guys to help me, and we'll really do the place over. We won't need money.
Well, hey, now. Maybe you have come up with a good idea for a change.
Betcha.
Gee, if I can just get away from the office. I love to swing a paintbrush. Count me in, huh?
Not so loud, Loud Bucket. Not so loud, Loud Bucket.
I bet Tracy at the hardware store will donate some paint and brushes.
Oh, sure. Old Tracy will do it. We'll round up some new second-hand furniture and stuff, and I can get that old pool table out of the Oaks Club basement, and Molly's coming.
Okay, act innocent.
And I thought maybe you'd like to ride downtown with me, my boy, and talk over our strategy for the bowling match tonight.
Oh, hello, Molly.
Hello, Dr. Gamble. Who are you shouting at?
Well, I didn't mean to. That is...
Me, Molly. Yeah, he was shouting at me. He has to shout. I got something in my ear.
What?
My fingers. Yeah. I'm going to ride downtown with Doc. Come on, Doc. We better get going. You got to get back to the office on a big economy.
Wait, the phone. 79 Wistful Vista, Molly McGee speaking. Oh, yes, just a minute. Your office, Doctor.
Oh, thanks. Hello? Yes, Miss Ogilvy. Mrs. Clatterhatch?
Oh,
You think it's really broken, or is she just... Uh-huh. Well, you better use the new machine for her. Yeah, set the pointer for 90 and turn the power on halfway.
What's he doing that old Dave?
Hey, you better leave her in front of it for about 20 minutes to relieve her misery. Okay.
What's the matter with Mrs. Clatterhatch, Doctor? What's broken?
A radio. If she misses one man's family, she's in misery. Come on, McGee, let's go.
There's more fun with the McGees shortly. Our religious institutions are strongholds of the American way of life. Our country was founded by men who had faith in God and who were willing to endure hardship and sacrifice for the sake of that faith. In these troubled times, we need the comfort and inspiration of religious faith more than ever. Faith helps hold our families together. It builds moral and spiritual character, and it creates the spirit of brotherhood on which democracy depends. There is need in these times to support a way of life based on the enduring principles of religion which knit the family together, make for good citizenship, and build the character of the children. The religious institutions in your community need your interest and support. So take an active part in religious affairs. Your pastor, rabbi, or priest will give you invaluable family counsel and aid if you're a newcomer to the community. To face the problems of the future, America must be morally strong, and that moral strength comes through worship and faith. Go to church this week and take someone with you.
I'll have to drop you off at Tracy's hardware store, McGee, and get back to the office.
That's okay, Doc. Hey, you said you were going to talk to Wally Wimple this afternoon, huh?
Yeah, he's coming in for some x-ray.
Oh, his wife's back, is she?
Yeah. I'll see if he's got any furniture, chairs and stuff, anything the club can use.
Yeah, if he's got anything that hasn't been broke over his head. I'll put the bite on Tracy here for whatever I can con out of him, too, Doc.
Use my name if you want to.
Good.
No, on second thought, maybe you better not.
Huh?
His youngster's tonsils grew back 12 years later. It's my fault.
Sure. Who else is that? Boy, I got some wonderful ideas for redecorating that place. I got a swell color scheme all worked out if Tracy will give me it. I'll call you, Fatso.
Okay.
This is one of the best ideas I ever had. It'll only be a big surprise for Molly, but I'll turn out a club room for them servicemen that'll seem just like home. Them guys is there. Oh, hi, Tracy. I'd like to see about getting...
Just a second there, McGee. Have to wait your turn.
Huh? My turn?
Yep, got a new system, McGee. New way of waiting on customers. Here. Take a number out of the box here. I'll call you when it's your turn. Just like the big stores do it.
Yeah, but Tracy, I just...
Got no time to argue, McGee. Rules are rules.
Oh. Okay. I picked a number. Now what?
Now, sit down. Right over there. I don't like to keep my customers standing around. Too many things in the hardware store they can slip in their pocket.
Okay.
Now then, what's your number?
16.
Number 16.
Well, at last.
What can I do for you, McGee?
Tracy, I want a couple of gallons of good oil paint and about 3 good brushes. Free.
What was that last word?
I says I want you to give them to me, Tracy. Now, don't get panicking. I'll tell you all about it.
McGee, I found out long ago that giving away stuff is the quickest way to lose a friend.
Just slip me the paint and the brushes, Tracy, and I'll try to get along without you. Now, you see
Had
what...
a friend once. Good friend. We were closer than 2 coats of shellac. Told him anything I had he wanted, just take it. So he did.
Yeah, what'd he take?
My wife. Took her and run off to California. Hates me ever since. Lost a mighty good friend that way, McGee.
Well, this is different, Tracy. This is for a good cause. My wife's club wants to redecorate their servicemen's center. You know, paint it up and fix it up.
Servicemen, eh?
Yeah. Me and some of the fellas are going to do the work, and I thought it would look kind of nice to have a little sign up there that says, materials donated by Tracy's Hardware.
Well, now, that's entirely different. Glad to help out in a cause like that, McGee. Former serviceman myself, you know. World War I, of course.
Oh, the big war. I never knew that.
Yep. Navy. Enlisted in the Navy without ever knowing it.
How'd that happen?
Saw a sign. Said, come in and see the world. I thought it was a newsreel. Well, let's get down to business here. What kind of paint you want?
Tracy, I figure for our men in the service, nothing but the best. I want them guys to walk into that club room and feel like they belong, to feel at home.
Noble sentiment.
I got the color scheme all worked out in my head. Give me a gallon of good, solid olive drab first.
Olive drab?
Yep. Then you better give me some fire engine red for contrast. If you got any 5-gallon cans that I can fill with sand and paint them red, that'll be a nice GI touch.
Well, don't forget the navy.
Yeah, and a half a gallon of navy blue ought to make a good combination with the olive drab. And if I can get hold of some camouflage cloth someplace, I'll cover the chairs with that, and it ought to tickle the Marines to death. I want to be sure all the branches of the service are took care of, and boy, when we start painting that place tomorrow, we'll do a job with Molly from the company.
We'll say goodnight to Fibber and Molly in a moment. We know you enjoy the pleasure-filled comedy shows presented every week on the NBC Radio Network because of the many letters you send to us telling us so. And that's why we like to call your attention to the fact that these programs are on the air. Tomorrow night, we know you'll want to hear the amusing adventures of the great Gildersleeve, as portrayed by Willard Waterman. Gildersleeve always finds himself in trouble, and when you listen, you'll always find yourself in a happy mood. So make it a date to join the great Gildersleeve every Wednesday night. The same night, you can play You Bet Your Life on the NBC Radio Network. Groucho Marx is your quizmaster on You Bet Your Life, and his ad-lib comments with his contestants make the program a must for millions of radio listeners. And remember, tomorrow night you'll also hear The Big Story with authentic dramatizations of newspaper reporters' news scoops. And Walk a Mile, the fun-packed, fast-paced quiz game with Bill Cullen as your master of ceremony. Wednesday's wonderful when you listen to the top shows on the NBC Radio Network.
Say, McGee, are you going to be busy tomorrow?
Tomorrow? Why's that?
Well, I want to do some house cleaning, and you could help me move the furniture.
Oh, not tomorrow, Molly. I got things to do tomorrow. I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be busy all day tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Doing what, for instance?
Well, you see, I promised Doc. Well, tomorrow I'm going to
Get out of the house to skip the house cleaning, huh?
No, it's not that. I just.
All right, I'm used to it. Happy Groundhog Day, anyhow.
Huh? Oh. Oh, oh. Well, good night.
Good night,
Groundhog Day. Today's Groundhog Day.
NBC and Tums have brought you the Fibber McGee and Molly program transcribed with Arthur Q. Bryan, Dr. Campbell, and Jeff Kirkpatrick as Tracy. This is John Wald inviting you to be with us again tomorrow night for another visit with Fibber McGee and Molly. Laugh with Senator Ford and Can You Top This tonight on the NBC Radio Network.
You don't really know.
The Fibber McGee and Molly Show. NBC and Richard Hutnut, makers of the all-new Richard Hutnut Home Permanent with Beauty Rinse Neutralizer, present Fibber McGee and Molly transcribed. The show is written by Bill Leslie and Bill Dance and directed by Max Tuttle.
I said last night that I beat you to it with my calendar.
We'll join Fibber and Molly in just a moment. Hundreds of millions of people behind the Iron Curtain are victims of vicious lies about the United States. Yes, communism continues to take the initiative in the propaganda war. We must not only stop the spread of communist influence among peoples that are still free, but we must also fight the tyranny of those it has already enslaved. In order to do this, the support of all Americans is needed. The Crusade for Freedom offers each of us as individuals the opportunity to strike a blow for freedom. This blow can be struck through Radio Free Europe, an independent, citizen-sponsored organization which broadcasts the message of democracy through the Iron Curtain every day, hour after hour. It brings hope and truth to enslaved peoples. spiking lies and undermining the influence of red rulers. Radio Free Europe is a partnership of Americans and exiles of enslaved countries who broadcast to their compatriots in their own idiom. Join the crusade by contributing your truth dollar. Send your contribution to Crusade for Freedom, care of your local postmaster. Mr. McGee and his friends are planning a big surprise for Mrs. McGee and her friends. It has to do with a servicemen's center that the Wistful Vista Women's Club operates on weekends. Concerning this matter, the following conversation took place last night in front of Kramer's drugstore.
You see, Wimp, the problem is that Molly's club has got practically no money at all.
A very common ailment.
Yeah, but this servicemen's center of theirs needs painting and fixing up something awful. The joints all run down like a beat cop's heels.
So McGee and I are going to fix it up.
I'll tell it, Doc. I'll tell it it's my idea.
Oh.
Anyhow, while Molly's fretting her head off how to raise some dough for redecorating, I and Doc here and a few friends like you are going in there tomorrow and do the joint over, see? Big surprise.
Oh, I'd love to help Mr. McGee.
Good.
That's the place at 3rd and Oak where they serve coffee and donuts?
Yeah, that's right, Wally. Tracy's Hardware donated some paint and stuff.
I'm going to get the old pool table out of the Elks Club basement.
So you look around your house and bring over anything you can spare that we can use, Wally, tomorrow morning.
At 9 o'clock.
Right. I have some wonderful pictures for the walls, Mr. McGee.
Good.
Some bird prints. So if any visiting flyers drop in, they'll feel right at home.
Whatever you got, bring it. We can always throw it out if it don't fit the decor. Okay, men. See you tomorrow.
McGee, I never saw you so full of energy so soon after breakfast. What are you getting ready to do?
Oh, I got to go downtown this morning, Molly. I got a few things to tend to downtown. I better get going on account
In
of
your old clothes?
What?
What's that under your arm? Are those your coveralls?
Oh, yeah, I promised to go to the Elks Club and help move a pool table out of the basement. Yeah, I got to move a pool table.
Oh. Well, will you be home early? Because I have to go to a women's club meeting at Mrs. Spradley's house this afternoon.
A meeting? Women's club?
Didn't I tell you?
Oh.
We're trying to figure out some way to get our servicemen's center painted and fixed up.
Oh, well, that's too bad, kiddo, but I really haven't got time to discuss that now. I got things to do, important stuff downtown.
Well, will you be home in time to drive me to Mrs. Spradley's? I'm chairman of this redecorating committee, and this thing...
I'm afraid not today, kiddo. Maybe out all day today. I got things to do.
Big deal.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's going to be too busy.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you should happen to drop in here around dinner time and find nothing to eat on the table, you'll know I've been busy, too. I'd better get upstairs and make the master's bed, I suppose. Wash out and stop.
She sure looks cute when she's sore. Sparks come out of her eyes you could light a cigar with. Boy, she'll sing a different tune when she sees what I and Doc and the guys are going to do for her club today. Come on, Wimp, get your back into it, boy. Come on, lean into it, old-timer. Push. We got to get that pool table in here some way. Lift it, old-timer. Lift it. Come on, your end is dragged.
Johnny, that's a straight line that I ain't in the mood to answer. You'd be interested in helping me and Wallace push this bossy Brunswick through the door. There's room for you on my end.
You guys can handle it. I trust you. I got to help Doc with painting.
Look, I think you'll have to take the legs off of it to get it through the door here. You can nail them back on later.
How you doing with the painting, Doc? Okay?
I'm having the time of my life, Sonny. I really enjoy painting.
Well, do it right, Doc. Do it right. You missed a couple of spots there. You better go over them again. You're not holding your brush right, too, anyhow. Is the paint stirred good? Keep it stirred. Keep it stirred.
Oh, don't tell me about painting, Grandpa Moses. You're talking to an expert.
Expert in my clavicle. This is a room you're painting, Fatso, not a tonsil. Come on, spread it on. This is for our boys in uniform, you know. Don't forget that. I want it painted perfect.
How would you like your head painted, Windy? Because if you'll stand a little closer to this ladder, I'll slap 3 coats on that loud puss of yours before you can say that clashes.
Come on, Doc. We got no time for horseplay. We got work to do.
That's the editorial
Yeah,
we, of course.
Another word for
One
mouth
question,
and
genius. Shoot.
I
What
don't know
saboteur
why.
helped you
That's what
figure
they
out
said
this
earlier
color
in
scheme?
another-
What do you mean? What's wrong with the color scheme? This club room is for servicemen, ain't it?
Yes.
We're trying to make it homey for them, ain't we? A place they'll feel familiar in, feel like they belong.
Certainly.
All right. So we're painting everything a nice, fresh olive drab. What else? Just slap the paint on, boys. I'll worry about the color. Come on, get that pool table in here, old-timer. Get your back into it, boys. We got work to do here, man.
Back to Wistful Vista in a minute.
Hello, I'm your Richard Hudnut beauty advisor with news about a home permanent that lets you curl your hair to suit yourself. It's the new Richard Hudnut Home Permanent, and it gives you exactly the kind of wave or curl you happen to want. You get a choice of 3 different waving and drying methods, and exclusive Beauty Rinse Neutralizer assures you best results no matter which method you use. For instance, if you like a casual hairdo, use the Richard Hudnut Pin Curl method. If you want a deeper, firmer wave, follow the Richard Hudnut Salon method. Or for a step-saving way to get nice, springy curls, try the Richard Hudnut On Curler method. You'll find the easy directions for all 3 methods right inside the new Richard Hudnut Home Permanent package. So you really can curl your hair to suit yourself. Just remember, it's the new Richard Hudnut Home Permanent, the only wave in the world with Beauty Rinse Neutralizer that gives you best results no matter which method you use.
Set that table and them chairs over next to the window, Imp.
Yes, it is.
That table looks a little rickety. Is that the best table you had at your house?
Well, we did have a better one, but Sweetie Face wanted to keep one in the dining room.
Well, it'll have to do, I guess. Come on, Doc. Hurry it up with that painting, boy.
I'm running low on paint, McGee.
Oh, stretch it, boy. Stretch it. You're nearly finished.
In more ways than one. The old back is creaking.
Sure this is where you want this pool table, Johnny? I got the legs back on good and solid, but don't you want me to move it to...
I told you where I want that pool table, right where it is. Nail it down good and solid to the floor so them guys don't move it.
You're the boss, Johnny. I just never heard of setting the pool table against the wall. You're kind of unhandy trying to make a bank shot and the other side...
Boy, this joint is really shaping up, ain't it, fellas?
Yes, it's going to look just lovely, Mr. McGee. I think.
How do you like the way I set them 5-gallon cans of sand around for cigarette butts and stuff?
Very sexy.
Them servicemen will love this place. It's them little GI touches like that that'll make the boys feel at home.
Oh, yes. I like the brass cuspidor there by the pool table, too, with the marksmanship medals over it. Very subtle.
Well, it's funny how a little good taste can make all the difference, ain't it? No wonder Molly and the women's club were worried about this place. They sure let it get run down, but we got it looking like...
Well, that's all the paint, McGee. Got everything covered except behind the lunch counter there.
Well, Doc, you done a good job. Now, look, you guys, it's 4 o'clock. I'm going to go pick Molly up and bring her over here for the big surprise.
Well, put the finishing touches on, Johnny.
Okay, and look, when I'm gone, I want you guys to nail all the furniture to the floor. Tables, chairs, everything.
Nail them to the floor.
Just like we done the pool table. That's the only way to keep a place like this neat, Doc. Keep them service guys from shifting them around.
Makes sense to me, Johnny.
Well, you can do the nailing then. I'm going to sit down.
Okay, Fatso, sit down a while, but sit down on every chair in the place, one at a time, will you? That'll dust them off good. And look, Wimp, you'll find an old room behind the lunch counter. You can sweep out. I'll be back here in half an hour with Molly, and we want to give her the surprise of her life. Well, come on, men, get moving.
But, dearie, if you just tell me where we're going...
Oh, you just be patient, kiddo. We're almost there. Keep your eyes closed now. Won't bear peeking. I should have blindfolded you.
The suspense is killing me here.
I'll tell you when to open your eyes. I've been working on this surprise for you for the last 2 days, Molly, and I don't want to spoil it.
I thought you'd been acting a little mysterious, but
You can open your eyes now, but come on, let's hurry inside.
I wish I knew what... McGee, this is the store at our ladies' club.
Yeah, come on in. There. Feast your eyes on the place, Sissy.
Hello there, daughter.
Hiya, Molly. Welcome to the service center.
Well, oh, hello. everybody. Oh, my. Why, you've done the whole place over.
Hello, Mrs. McGee.
Top to bottom, Tootsie.
Work your brains out, daughter. I'm going to sit and rest mine a while.
My goodness, I just don't know what to say.
You don't have to say anything, my dear. It's a pleasure.
But, well,
We done it just for you, Molly. You and your women's club don't need to be ashamed of this place now, kiddo.
yes, but,
When them servicemen flock in here next weekend, you gals can be mighty proud of this joint.
yes, but,
But what? Is anything wrong?
well, you never gave me a chance to tell you, McGee,
Tell me what.
that we moved our service club out of here last week.
What?
Our new room is way down at 14th and Oak, and oh, does it need fixing.
Oh.
Fibber and Molly will be right back. Tomorrow night, there's more zany fun when Ralph Edwards plays Truth or Consequences with contestants from the studio audience. You never know exactly what's going to happen on Truth or Consequences, but you can always be sure that the resultant fun will provide laugh-packed entertainment for you and your whole family. And, of course, your family will enjoy the Roy Rogers Show tomorrow night on the NBC Radio Network. You'll hear Roy and Dale, Pat Brady and the Whippoorwills, all bringing you exciting Western adventure and tuneful Western songs in a half-hour show that's certain to please. Then, right after the Roy Rogers Show, listen to Father Knows Best, starring Robert Young in the title role. There's enough entertainment in this half hour to keep you smiling all week long. So be sure to hear Father Knows Best, and top off your Thursday evening listening on NBC with a helping of Eddie Cantor's Show Business Show, the program that brings you nostalgic tales of the greats and near-greats in show business. You'll agree that Thursday's another great evening for radio entertainment at this same spot on your dial.
So when I told Mrs. Bradley about all the work you boys did for us, and all for nothing, she thought the club should express its appreciation officially.
Yeah?
So I tell you what, we're calling a special meeting Saturday afternoon, and you and all your friends are going to be given honorary membership cards in the Wistful Vista Women's Club.
Oh, good. With a card like that, I'll bet I can get a discount on all my nylons and hairdos. Good night.
Good night, all.
NBC and Richard Hudnut, makers of the all-new Richard Hudnut Home Permanent with Beauty Rinse Neutralizer, have brought you the Fibber McGee and Molly program transcribed, with Bill Thompson as the old-timer and Wallace Wimple and Arthur Q. Bryan as Dr. Gamble. This is John Wald inviting you to be with us again tomorrow night for another visit with Fibber McGee and Molly.
Tomorrow night, enjoy the Roy Rogers Show on the NBC Radio Network.
The Fibber McGee and Molly Show. Every weekday at this time, NBC brings you Fibber McGee and Molly transcribed. The show is written by Phil Leslie and Ralph Goodman and directed by Max Hutto. Fibber and Molly will be with you in a minute. Every day last year on the highways, an average of 103 Americans like yourself or those in your family were killed in automobile accidents. But a lot of highway deaths don't seem to bother us much, unless someone in our own family is killed. We are shocked, however, and do become excited when an occasional disaster or catastrophe strikes and claims a large toll of life. Why? If a tornado over which man has no control strikes several states and kills 100 people, is that disaster any worse than 100 Americans being killed in a single day in automobile accidents over which the drivers do have control in the way they conduct themselves on the highways? The daily toll of 103 deaths a day in traffic accidents is America's greatest shame because that toll is repeated year after year. You can do your part in helping to fight this disaster on the highways by being a safer driver and working in your community and state for strict law enforcement that means safer traveling for all of us. At all times, remember to drive as though your life depends on it. It does.
Hey, Molly, have you seen this month's light bill?
The light bill?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, McGee, you're not going to complain again. They checked our meter 3 times last month, and Max said there's nothing wrong with it.
Max? Who the nickel-plated heck is Max?
The meter reader.
Oh.
You've called him every month for the last 6 years, so he thought it would be nice if we got to know each other by first name.
I see.
He's crazy about yours. Says if he ever has another boy, that's what he's going to call him. Francis.
Francis?
Well, I didn't want to tell him it was Fibber. You know the corny jokes that leads to, so I just said Francis. Francis McGee. I like that.
Look, kiddo, I haven't got time to play name games. Would you just answer my question? Have you seen this month's electric bill? I've looked everywhere.
Why the big excitement about finding the electric bill?
Because I'm going to sit down and pay all our bills this afternoon, that's why.
Would you mind repeating that, Francis? I mean, dearie?
I said I was going to sit down and pay up all our bills. Look, what's so startling about that?
Nothing. It's just that I'm getting so used to eating my candlelight and my heavy coat at the end of the month that the thought of being a member in good standing at the Gas and Light Company kind of brought a tear to my eye for a minute.
I know how you feel. Some of these bills have been around here so long they feel like an old friend.
Well, I had no idea we were far behind on some of these things, McGee.
Oh, yeah.
This bill here, for instance, from the tailor, says mending, tearing, bell-bottom trousers, $2. Pay the man. He deserves it.
I'm going to pay it. I'm going to pay all of them right now. Light, gas, Kramer's, drugstore, my Elks Club dues, everything.
Good, and if there's anything I can do to help...
You've already helped. Plenty. That $200 that I and you earned by you being Citizen X, that went in the bank, didn't it?
Well, I give it a shot out of a gun.
Well, I hope them tellers took a good look at it on account of because when I get through writing checks today, it'll be just a happy memory.
That's what it was for. Now, you go ahead with the bills you have there, and I'll look for that light bill.
Okay. Ah, there goes the good kid. Money means nothing to her, but to me, it's minute. When she lends me $1 and says, this is the end, she means it. We couldn't try another buck out of her if it was a... Come in.
Hi, Mr. Hi.
Oh, okay. School out already?
Sure is, Alberta. See? It's, 3 o'clock. See that?
Oh, you got yourself a Mickey Mouse wristwatch, huh? Hey, wait a minute. There aren't any hands on that watch. How can you tell what time it is?
I asked somebody.
Oh, I see.
Like today, I just asked our teacher what time is it, and she said 3 o'clock, thank heaven, school's dismissed.
Oh, I see.
So I put everything in my briefcase, and here I am.
It's quite a bulgy-looking briefcase you got there, Teeny. What you got in it?
Just the usual things that a lady needs, Mr. McGee. My books, and a pen and ink, and a pencil box, and a sack of marbles, and a hunk of modeling clay, and a sandwich for my lunch, and half an orange, and my homework, and a picture Bert Lancaster, and...
Yeah, well, you don't need to give me a complete inventory. I got a little work to do here right now, so if you don't mind...
Oh, what you doing, Mr. McGee? With all those papers, What you doing,
Oh, I'm paying some bills, see? This stack of papers represents an accumulation of delinquent liabilities that constitutes a serious impairment of my financial standing.
Well,
I shall attempt today, through the satisfaction in full of all outstanding claims, to restore my credit to its original pristine condition, halt the flow of threatening missives from disgruntled tradesmen, and stop getting done by Bradstreet. Any questions?
Can I have a cookie?
Oh, sir. Everything I use the place. Help yourself.
Oh, boy. Thanks, mister. Help yourself, he said. I hope there's a lot.
Take a couple of them, sis. They're small. Then you better run along and let me get busy here.
A couple, Mr. McGee? Did you say a couple?
Yeah. Take 2.
Okay. I'll put 3 back in. I have 5.
Oh, okay. Keep them. That's okay.
See? Thanks, Mr. McGee. This is wonderful for us old children. Bye now. Oh, boy. Buy cookies. I'm rich.
Cute kid. And smart, too. You forgot a briefcase. Hey, Teeny! Oh, well. You'll probably be back to the briefcase and 5 more cookies in a little while. Now that I think of it, that's the same sense you pulled last week. Reminds me of some of the angles I used to shoot tonight.
There's more fun with the McGees shortly. I'd like to take about 1 minute right now to speak to all you young men between 17 and 18 and a half years of age. I'd like to talk to you fellows about some of the tremendous advantages and opportunities that are awaiting you in the National Guard, and especially to you young men with military obligations. Now, here are some of the opportunities I'm speaking about. First of all, there's that extra income that you will always find you can use. In the National Guard, you'll have the opportunity of learning new skills. Then there's also the chance to qualify for a commission and to take courses in pilot training. Besides all this, there are retirement benefits in the National Guard. Yes, you can start fulfilling your military obligation and start your training while living at home and continuing your work or school. Full details on the training program and enlistment requirements can be obtained at your local National Guard armory. Look into the National Guard enlistment program. It may be the opportunity that you've been looking for.
Well, Molly, I'm just about set here.
Good.
I've been all through these bills, checked them over, added them up, okayed them, initialed them, approved them, and I'm ready to start writing checks.
Oh, this will be a great day for the McGees.
Yeah, not to mention our creditors. Doggone it. Just silly to let things go this way.
True.
Look at here. I got 3 bills here that total up about $12 that I can save that much on shoe leather alone.
What do you mean? You don't know the shoe repairman.
No, look. You know where the Elks Club sits? Just 3 doors from Kramer's drugstore?
Sure.
And you know what them 3 doors are? The gun shop, $5.80. The bakery, $3. And the newsstand, $2.87.
Oh, dear.
So, when I want to go from the Elks Club 50 feet to Kramer's drugstore, how do you think I do it?
In a packing case?
No, but I got to duck out the back door, cut through the Chinese laundry, walk west to the library, south to Walt's malt shop, and down Kramer's alley to the drugstore.
Oh, dear.
1.5 miles to go 50 feet.
I see.
Just to hand me the checkbook, will you?
Here. And I personally will see that nobody interrupts you till these checks are all made out in mail.
Good.
I'll get your fountain pen for you. Oh, dear.
Smith.
Your fountain pen. It's at the cleaners. They called this morning.
Oh, my gosh, now it's dark. Gee whiz, Molly, how could that happen? You know I need my pen. How could you let my pen go to the cleaners?
It was very simple. All I did was call downstairs and tell you to be sure and empty the pockets before you gave the man the suit yesterday. Remember?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, well, there's no great harm done. I keep a spare pen in the coffee table drawer here for just such emergencies. Borrowed it from Doc Gambit so long ago, he forgot it.
Is that where that came from? I tried to use it yesterday. It's dry.
That presents no problem, my dear. You got a bottle of ink right here? Couldn't think of it, I dumped that ink out.
It was brand new.
Well, I needed the bottle. I had a hunch that milkman of ours was using short corks on us, and I needed something to measure with. The ink bottle was a 4-ounce bottle, and I figured 6 of them would make a quart. 24 ounces.
Oh, never mind. I get the whole picture.
Honestly, kiddo, did you ever see it fail? Just let me try to do something out of the goodness of my heart for my fellow man so they won't turn off our lights and gas, and I can get from the Elks Club to Kramer's, and what do I run into at every corner?
The finance company?
No, sir, adversity.
Adversity?
Yes, sir, adversity. That's what I run into, nothing but adversity. Hey, wait a minute.
I'm not going anywhere.
Teeny, her briefcase. Yeah, look, she left her briefcase here. I bet she's got a bottle of ink right in here something. Oh, look at that. What did I tell you?
Hey, found a bottle of ink. Thank goodness. Grab your pen. Let's get started.
Right.
I'll read off the amount and the name, and you can write out the check and put them in the mail.
Yeah.
Oh, this is exciting. Is that you, McGee? Wipe your feet good.
I did. I got all them bills stamped and in the mail and on the way. Boy, oh boy, the 4th of the month, and we're all paid up. You know, there are 22 bills in that stack.
I know. It was a real day's work. Come on in, Teeny's here.
Oh, she is? Came back for a briefcase, huh?
Sure. Hi, Mr. McGee. Hi.
Hi, Teeny. Did you get some more cookies? Give her a hatful, Molly.
I did.
Boy, I just feel wonderful, Molly. What a load off my mind. You sure were a lifesaver today, Teeny. If it hadn't been for you leaving your briefcase...
She wants to show you a magic trick, dearie.
Magic trick? Yeah?
Yes, she knows lots of them.
Uh-huh.
And now show Mr. McGee the one you just showed me, Teeny. That's the best. You like this one, McGee.
No, I like them all. You know me and magic tricks. Well, go on, Teeny. Let's see it.
Well, I'm coming.
Go ahead. Sure, I want.
I'm coming. Well, I took this piece of paper here, see? And then I take this bottle of ink. I keep in my briefcase. I keep in my briefcase, you see? And I put writing on the paper like this, see?
Yeah?
Now you just watch it. You just watch it for a few minutes after it dries.
What happens?
The writing disappears.
What?
This looks like regular steel writing, but it isn't. It's a magical disappearing thing. My dad gave it to me from a joke shop.
Oh.
He says it's good for a lot of laughs.
Laughs? Oh, yeah. Yeah, laughs. Yeah. You hear that, Molly? All them checks we sent out, they don't have any writing on them. You don't think you have, Molly, the checks, you know, didn't we?
Same funny, McGee.
We'll say goodnight to Fibber and Molly in a moment. Tomorrow evening, you'll hear the nation's top comedy entertainment when you set your dial to the NBC radio network. Adding to the festivities will be Bob Hope, Phil Harris and Alice Faye, Gertrude Berg, and, of course, Fibber McGee and Molly. When you add up this Entertainment Plus, you'll know why so many millions of listeners from coast to coast make it a weekly habit to tune to NBC each Friday evening. Phil Harris and Alice Faye provide 30 minutes of mirth and merriment when they're joined by such comical characters as Elliot Lewis, Julius Abruzio, and the entire Harris family. And you'll want to be in the audience when Bob Hope presents his special guest star, the singing of Margaret Whiting and the music of Les Brown's Band of Renown. For family comedy, hear Gertrude Berg's hilarious program entitled The House of Glass. You'll enjoy this story of life in a hotel in the Catskills. Yes, you'll enjoy all of the programs sent your way via NBC tomorrow and every Friday night. Be sure to listen on this same NBC station.
You tired of that? Molly, I'd give another bottle of ink and I'd sit right down and I'd start all over.
Good idea.
But I can't. I mailed all the bills back in the envelopes with the checks. I don't know how much we owe who.
We'll hear from them.
Okay. Good night.
Good night, all.
NBC has brought you the Fibber McGee and Molly program transcribed. This is John Wald inviting you to be with us again tomorrow night for another visit with Fibber McGee and Molly.
This Saturday, enjoy a road show, an exciting new show on the NBC Radio Network.
The Fibber McGee and Molly Show. Every weekday at this time, NBC brings you Fibber McGee and Molly transcribed. The show is written by Phil Leslie and Len Levinson and directed by Max Hutto. We'll join Fibber and Molly in just a moment. Every day last year on the highways, an average of 103 Americans like yourself or those in your family were killed in automobile accidents. But a lot of highway deaths don't seem to bother us much unless someone in our own family is killed. We are shocked, however, and do become excited when an occasional disaster or catastrophe strikes and claims a large toll of life. Why? If a tornado over which man has no control strikes several states and kills 100 people, is that disaster any worse than 100 Americans being killed in a single day in automobile accidents over which the drivers do have control in the way they conduct themselves on the highways? The daily toll of 103 deaths a day in traffic accidents is America's greatest shame. You can do your part in helping to fight this disaster on the highways by being a safer driver and working in your community and state for strict law enforcement that means safer traveling for all of us. At all times, you must remember to drive as though your life depends on it. It does. Last Saturday afternoon, for the 27th time this year, Mrs. McGee bumped into a large and very sad-looking obstruction in the middle of the living room floor and said to her husband as follows.
Huh? You've been promising to take care of this thing for a month.
Well, I will. I'm going to. When I get time.
This Christmas tree has got to go.
Gee whiz, Molly, you sound like you mean right now.
If not sooner.
Oh, okay. I'll get it out, okay. 1 tree coming out.
That was last Saturday afternoon. Here we are 6 days later in the kitchen at 79 Wistful Vista, and Mrs. McGee says,
McGee,
Huh?
for almost a week now, that Christmas tree's been standing on the back porch.
Yeah.
Let's get it out of here.
To tell you the truth, I've been meaning to do that just as soon as I can figure out what to do with it.
Have you thought of the trash man?
That's what I say. We can have the trash man hauled away. Sure,
The reason I mention the trash man is because he's coming down the alley right now.
Mm-hmm. Boy, oh boy, is this ever good timing. I hope I haven't missed him. Hey, trash! Hey, wait! Hey, you! Trash, hold it! Huh? I got something here for you, here.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Why, Fibber McGee. I live in that house there, number 79.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's this, my Christmas present?
No, this is just our old Christmas tree. We want to get rid of it.
Oh, I thought it was my Christmas present, 'cause so far I never got no Christmas present from it.
Well, I'm sorry, Trash. It must have slipped my... Now, wait a minute. You did, too. I got you. Let me think. Sure, of course I did.
Did what?
I did, too, get you a Christmas present. I got you a tie. Got it down at the Bonton. Red tie with pink nasturtiums. I left it on top of our can on Christmas morning, don't you remember?
Oh, yeah. Now I do.
You never even thanked me for it, Trash.
Why should I, mister? There was no card on it says who's it from.
Well, I run out of cards. Anyway, what's that got to do with it?
Well, I never figured that tie for a gift. I took one look at it and thought you was throwing it away. So that's what I done with it.
Well, that's your hard luck, Trash. If you ain't sartorial enough to recognize a foreign imported expensive neckwear when you see one, well, here.
Nothing doing.
Huh?
I still say you was throwing that tie away. No, thank you.
What you mean, no thank you?
I ain't hauling no old trees away for no skinflints. Get rid of it yourself.
Now, just a darn minute, Buster. As a city employee, I help pay your salary.
You a city employee?
No, you are. And by George...
Not me, Mac. I don't work for no city. I got a contract. That's what I got. I got a contract to haul trash. And my contract don't include no recombustible vegetation, which that tree is.
All right. So you don't work for the city. You're an independent contractor. But even so...
You said it. I'm the most independent contractor in town. See you next Christmas, tightwad.
Hey, come back here. Hey, you.
Wouldn't take it, huh?
No. And boy, is the city hall going to hear about this. This is a pretty kettle of fish. What am I going to do with this dad-ratted thing anyhow?
Why don't you saw it up and burn it in the fireplace?
I would, except for 2 things.
What?
A, I haven't got a saw since Doc Gamble came and took it back. And B, and most important, you wouldn't let me buy this tree till they sprayed it with that fireproof stuff. Remember?
Oh, old cautious me.
You betcha. This thing won't burn, and it's got my backup. I'll get rid of this thing. Hey, wouldn't it be funny if yeah, that's what I'll do.
What?
Never you mind, Tootsie. You just trot back in the house and start fixing old Dad some lunch. When I come back in half an hour, just call me Treeless McGee.
with Povista in a minute. Recently, the Red Cross was called upon to undertake an immediate and dramatic expansion of its participation in the National Blood Program to make available all the gamma globulin possible for the prevention of paralysis from polio. Experiments conducted over the past 2 years have demonstrated the effectiveness of this treatment. It takes approximately 1 pint of blood to make an average dose of gamma globulin as used in polio. 1 injection protects a child for a period of 1 to 5 weeks following exposure. Therefore, there is an additional need for blood donations now, in order that we may be able to do our utmost to safeguard our children during the epidemic period next summer. There has been no let-up in the need for blood for overseas and for the thousands of wounded men in our military hospitals still fighting for a chance to live. If you are an adult, call your local Red Cross chapter for an appointment to make a donation of your blood for the National Blood Program, which aims to supply the total blood needs of the country. Join the thousands of Americans who are rolling up their sleeves. Take pride in having helped save a life.
Hey, Molly, I'm back.
Who's that, Phyllis McGee?
Yeah.
Got rid of it, did you?
Oh, that I did, kiddo. What's for lunch? I got the appetite of a lumberjack, and why not?
Now, who can that be right at lunchtime? Oh, it's you now.
Yes, Dr. Gamble and Tree.
Oh, my gosh, it's her.
Well, thanks just the same, Doctor, but we can't use another one. We just got rid of ours.
This is it, Molly. Your husband moved into my side yard.
Oh, no, McGee. McGee, where did he go?
Probably hiding the little saffron abdomen.
I heard that. And don't think you can insult me by using medical phraseology, ding-dong. I know what color saffron is, and I know the abdomen's the same as the...
Hold it, Blabby. There's a lady present.
Don't tell me there's a lady present. I mean, I knew it before he did.
What is this all about?
An old gas bag here was calling me lily-livered.
Lily-livered my eye. I said saffron abdomen, and that means yellow-bellied. Hold it, Doc.
There's a lady present.
I know this place.
There are any gentlemen present? Would either of you like to explain what the oak and spruce tree is doing in our house?
It's his. Let him tell you.
It's not. That's the tree he tossed over the fence and left the back door of my office.
Why, that fence is 6 feet high. Did you see me do it?
No, but I recognized your dirty laugh. Oh, there isn't another set of tonsils in town with that nasty vibratory tremor.
What have you to say, dearie?
Nothing. I'm as innocent as an unborn calf.
There is a resemblance.
With millions of old Christmas trees around, why pick on me? Can you prove it?
Yes, I can prove it, you little chiseler. When I picked up this scrubby shrub, the trash man drove up and recognized it. Here, take it. To shove it down your throat, only you'd be calling me right back to remove it. And I'm too busy to be Great Scott. I was examining old man McDonald, and I gotta go.
All right, Treeless. Now what?
Don't worry, I'll get rid of it. Get your hat and come on along. I'll haul this thing out in the country. You see any farmhouses along here?
Not for the last few miles.
You see anybody anywhere?
Just that.
I guess it's about time. If I dump this tree on the road, I'll probably have the highway department on my neck. Over the fence it goes.
Yeah, at last.
It'll lay there in that field and nobody will ever... I told you I'd get it. Where'd he come from?
Must have crawled out of a culvert.
Hey, you! Stop!
Come on, Molly, let's get out of here.
Oh, home at last. You got the key, or shall I fish mine out?
I got mine right here. My blasted dad ran it. Look, mine on the front porch.
Christmas tree.
Get
back here, and ahead of us, too.
It's a curse on us. That's what it is. My God.
Couldn't move back. How on earth did it get here?
Wait a second. Here's a note. Tied to the branch.
What does it say?
Roses are red, violets are blue. Your license plate led me to you. It's signed. Next time I'll have my shotgun with me.
Oh, this is ridiculous. Honestly.
I feel like this tree is haunted, Molly. You know what? My God. Look, if I'm not home for dinner, don't wait up on me.
Where are you going?
I don't know where I'm going, but I'm not coming home with this tree. Hey, Molly, come and help me with something.
Did you get rid of it, dear?
I'll say I did. You know where? Where we bought.
The man was still there?
Oh, he's still in business. He runs a nursery now. Got a sale on.
You left the tree there, huh?
Oh, he did better than that. He gave me $1.25 credit for it on this dandy new $5 tree. Take a look, Molly. Look at that. It's small, but ain't it a honey?
What? McGee, what do we want with a Christmas tree this time of year?
Oh, but Molly, it's a live tree. It's planted in a tub. We set it out in the backyard, see? Next Christmas, we won't spend a nickel. We just cut it down and drag it in the house. Oh, boy, it's the best idea I ever had. Come on, help me carry it.
Fibber and Molly will be right back. For more than 26 years, more listeners have enjoyed more radio programs on NBC than on any other radio network. Today, when you tune to NBC, you can always depend upon the quality of programs you will hear. Listen this weekend for top drama, mystery, comedy, news, and music on this station. You'll hear the NBC Symphony Orchestra in another superb concert of outstanding music direct from the stage of New York's Carnegie Hall. You'll hear more wonderful entertainment on many great new radio shows tomorrow and Sunday. Be sure to check your local paper for the time of broadcast on this station. And remember that Monday means music on NBC. When you tune here each Monday evening, you'll be entertained by the Railroad Hour, the Voice of Firestone, and the Telephone Hour. Gordon McRae presides over the operettas presented on the Railroad Hour. On the Voice of Firestone, you'll hear the music of Howard Barlow, while Donald Voorhees conducts the Bell Symphonic Orchestra on the Telephone Hour. Be sure to hear them all next Monday evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, Look magazine and the National Municipal League in the current issue of Look are saluting 11 All-America cities of 1953.
These cities are presented awards for the efforts of their own citizens in working for better civic conditions, cleaning up vice and corruption, improving schools, hospitals, utilities, and similar activities.
And we're happy to see that one of these 11 cities is our old hometown, Peoria, Illinois.
Yes. So we'd like to add our own salute to Peoria and to station WEEK there as it celebrates this fine achievement.
These 11 cities offer convincing proof that when determined, hard-hitting citizens walk in, crime walks out. Good night.
Good night, all.
NBC has brought you the Fibber McGee and Molly program, transcribed with Arthur Q. Bryan as Dr. Campbell and Jack Moyles as the Tracksman. This is John Wald, inviting you to be with us again next Monday night for another visit with Fibber McGee and Molly. Tomorrow, enjoy Bill Cullen and Your Road Show on the NBC Radio Network. The Fibber McGee and Molly Show. NBC and Richard Hudnut, makers of the all-new Richard Hudnut Home Permanent with Beauty Rinse Neutralizer, present Fibber McGee and Molly transcribed. The show is written by Phil Leslie and Len Levinson and directed by Max Hutto. We'll join Fibber and Molly in just a moment. In order that you may understand the American economic system better, authorities on labor, business, and public service have prepared this message. It begins, Americans live better than any other people in the world, enjoy more luxuries and more leisure time. All this is the result of our constantly increasing production. As we've worked harder and more efficiently, we've lived more happily. And at the same time, we've clung to the precious principles of freedom which are the foundation of our economic system. The rights of the individual have remained intact. We know that we can work where and at what we please. We know that we can profit from enterprise and initiative. These, then, are the two sides of America's economic system, the productive side and the moral side. Together, they have created a splendid way of life. Together, they will bring us a still more glorious future. For in that future, we will correct the faults we know exist. And by increasing our production still further, we can look forward to a still higher standard of living through the American economic system. Mr. McGee of 79 Wistful Vista went downtown an hour ago in a happy, cheerful frame of mind. But here he comes back home again, and listen to him gripe.
High-handed, inconsiderate, unbusinesslike shovings around. This is the worst I ever took. I've been pretty patient about this thing, but if they think I'm the kind of a guy that they can do that to, well, we'll see about this. By George, I'm not.
That you, McGee?
Yeah, that's me. Pushed around, underprivileged, stepped on, bypassed McGee. That's me.
For goodness sakes, you sound like you got a chip on your shoulder.
Chip. As the butcher said when he carried the cow out of the icebox, Mrs. McGee, this is a big beef.
Well, sit down and tell Mother all about it. What happened?
I was down at that Elks Club this morning, and the first guy I saw was that big mouth Mort Tooth.
Well, that's enough to upset anybody that soon after breakfast, but don't let it throw you.
Oh, that ain't what upset me. It's what Mort's got that makes me sore. A new dial telephone.
Oh?
Yeah. Practically everybody in town has got a dial phone but us. Mort Tooth's even now. And we're still stuck with that old-fashioned call 'em up and tell 'em who you want kind.
But the telephone company explained that 12 times, McGee. They're changing over a neighborhood at a time as fast as they can.
Well, it ain't fast enough, kiddo. I'm fed up. I'm going to call that phone company up and blow every fuse in their dad-ratted circuit.
Operators to dial phones.
Hello, operator. Give me the telephone company. I want to talk to the superintendent of service. That's you, Miss?
Oh, dear.
How's everything, Miss?
His phone.
It is, eh? What's say, Mert? Your 3-year-old nephew. Raising a beard. He must look cute.
What, 3 years old?
Yeah, he keeps raising his grandpa's beard to look for Easter eggs. What's say, Mert? The superintendent of service. Yeah, put him on.
I think Mert is putting you on.
Hello, Soup. This is Fibber McGee of 79 Wistful Vista, and I got a complaint, Buster. Practically everybody in this town has got dial telephones but us, and I'm sick and tired of... Yeah, we've been hearing that for months. I'm telling you for the last time, Soup, if you don't get somebody out here pronto, I'm going to take my business someplace else.
They'll dance in the street.
I don't want any more excuses, Si. That's my last word. The only way to deal with them guys,
Somebody at the door, dearie.
I'm from the telephone company, ma'am. Coming to put in a dial phone for you.
Ah, you see there, kiddo? Get tough enough with them high-tension high binders, and they really hop. Come right in, bud. You sure made fast time out here.
This way, young man. The phone's over here.
Thanks. I'll get right to work. I imagine you're anxious to have you.
Second there, bud. If you leave the receiver off the hook like that, nobody can call me.
That's right, sir. Are you expecting an important call or something?
Well, how do I know who's going to call me? Gee whiz, the whole fascination of having a telephone is that you never know when some strange, unusual, exciting news may come bolting out of the blue into your ear.
Sir, if you'd like me to come back some other day, I can put you at the bottom of the list.
Oh, no. You go right ahead. You go right ahead. I don't want to interfere with putting in a dial phone. Just keep my line open, that's all.
Oh, McGee, the man can't put in a new phone till he takes out this one. He has to disconnect the wires, naturally.
Thanks very much, lady.
Pretty inefficient.
You won't miss any calls, sir. If anyone tries, they'll be told your line is temporarily disconnected, and they'll call you later.
Temporarily disconnected? My gosh, everybody knows what that means. You haven't paid your bill.
That reminds me, dearie. Have you paid the bill?
Come to think of it, no. But that's okay. We've still got 14 days of grace.
That's only with insurance policy.
The phone company, too. Grace is that girl in the business office that always lets our bill run a couple of weeks. Can I help you there, Bud?
No, thanks.
You need the friction tape? I've got lots of friction tape. You need friction tape?
I have friction tape.
McGee, I have some work to do in the kitchen. How about you? You can give me a hand with the dishes.
Oh, I can't right now, Molly. I'm busy here. The minute you get the new phone hooked in, Bud, I got an important call to make. To somebody. Urgent.
Yeah.
There are a lot of wires inside that thing. What's that gadget there for? Oh, I see. You know, I'm sort of sorry to see that old phone go, Bud. Had it all these years. Got it wore down till it fits my ear like a glove. Ah, the voices that have come to me over that old tragedy, comedy, drama, wrong numbers. Pretty finished, Bud?
No, I'm not nearly finished.
How come you boys are taking so long to convert this town?
Mister, we'd have been done months ago. Only nobody seems to have anything to do but ask us questions, make us drink coffee, babysit with their kids while they go to the store, repair their radio sets, or just yak their heads off so we can't work.
Is that so? That's tough. Lucky for you, our radio set don't need fixing. Well, you go right ahead with your work.
We do got some kids.
Won't make you nervous if I just look over your shoulder, will it?
Back to Wistful Vista in a minute.
Hello, I'm your Richard Hudnut Beauty Advisor with news about a home permanent that lets you curl your hair to suit yourself. It's the new Richard Hudnut Home Permanent, and it gives you exactly the kind of wave or curl you happen to want. You get a choice of 3 different waving and drying methods, and exclusive Beauty Rinse Neutralizer assures you best results no matter which method you use. For instance, if you like a casual hairdo, use the Richard Hudnut Pin Curl method. If you want a deeper, firmer wave, follow the Richard Hudnut Salon method. Or for a step-saving way to get nice, springy curls, try the Richard Hudnut On Curler method. You'll find the easy directions for all 3 methods right inside the new Richard Hudnut Home Permanent package. So you really can curl your hair to suit yourself. Just remember, it's the new Richard Hudnut Home Permanent, the only wave in the world with Beauty Rinse Neutralizer that gives you best results no matter which method you use.
Did you ever stop to think, Bud?
Why, no, Mr. McGee. If I did, I'd have quit this job long ago.
Did you ever stop to think how lucky it was the telephone was invented by the guy that done it instead of somebody else?
What do you mean?
Well, suppose the inventor was a guy named Alexander Graham Whistle instead of Alexander Graham Bell. And the telephone would toot instead of tinkle.
I never thought of that.
Of course you didn't. That's why you're not an inventor.
Just a second, please.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, George. Hello, George. Testing. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing.
Okay.
Bring me back on 4366, George.
4366. Is that our new number, 4366?
Yeah. Okay, George. What, George? No, same as every place in this town. I got a WN with a constant BS.
Did you say constant
Say, Bud, what's a WN and a BS?
A wrong number with a busy signal.
Oh, is that so? Finished yet? Can I use it now?
In just a minute.
Okay, I'll wait. Want to make a call the minute the line's clear. Hey, Molly, he's almost finished. We almost got a dial phone.
Oh, good. I think it's wonderful that you got it installed at all, man, considering.
Thanks, Mrs. McGee. You're very understanding. It's all ready for use now. If you'll just show me where to throw this trash.
Oh, just leave the trash there. I'll clean it up.
Okay. I'll be leaving then. Bye.
Bye.
Ah, boy, oh, boy, this is the moment I've been waiting for, Tootsie. The first call on the new dial phone.
Good.
And you know to whom it's to whom?
Who?
To my dearest friend and fattest critic, old Doc Gamble.
Oh?
The guy that swore he'd get his dial phone before I did if he had to sell all his mortuary stock and buy the phone company. Wait till I rub it into him like, let me see now, how do I get Doc's office? Oh, I know. Hello, operator. Give me Dr. George Gamble at 14th and... Oh, is that you, Mary?
Oh, no. The phone company spends $1 million to put in an automatic system just so McGee can dial Merck.
What's that, Mary? Yeah, our new dial phone. Get me Doc Gamble so I can... Huh? Oh, okay, Mary. I'll try later. Doc ain't in.
Oh, that's too
that? Yeah, he's probably hiding out, the big rum-dum. Probably won't hear from him till...
79 Wistful Vista, Molly McGee speaking.
No, Molly, we got a new number now. Here, let me talk with you. I'll show you how you ought to answer. Hello, this is Wistful Vista 4366 speaking.
Hello, McGee.
Oh, hi, Docky. Doc Gamble. I was just going to phone you, Doc. Tell you about our new dial phone. They ain't got to your house yet, have they?
Well, to tell the truth, I don't know. I haven't been home for several hours.
Oh, we got our new dial phone installed already, Fatso. Better take down the number. It's Wistful Vista 4366. That's a dial phone, you know. You got to fidget with the digit to get us now.
I'll make a note of it when I get home. By the way, you might mark down my new telephone number. It's XD7187.
XD71... Hey, who are you trying to kid? What kind of number is that?
Mobile telephone number, my boy. It's in my car.
What?
Yeah, I'm talking to you while driving casually down 14th Street. Put your hand out, get down the block.
1954.
What you mean, put my hand out?
Oh, not you, McGee. I was telling off that moron ahead of me.
What is it, McGee? What is it?
Why, that big four-flusher Doc Gamble, he's got a telephone in his car. A radio telephone.
Middays, what'll they think of next?
Yeah.
McGee, you can't imagine the convenience of this instrument. No stopping to hunt for a payphone on rainy nights. My office can reach me instantly when I'm needed, and as I drive along with the phone to my ear, I...
You just got a car accident.
Hey, Doc, are you hurt?
Die while talking on the cell phone and driving.
Doc, are you hurt?
No, I'm not hurt, McGee. I'll call you back. Look, send me a tow truck, will you? I gotta hang up and count my fenders.
Okay, Doc.
We'll be right back. I'd like to take just 1 minute of your time here to remind you about more of the wonderful entertainment that's headed your way tomorrow evening via the NBC Radio Network. Songs with Frank Sinatra takes the musical spotlight tomorrow evening as Frank brings you music of some of the nation's greatest recording artists, as well as songs of his own. You'll truly enjoy his compact quarter hour of listenable music. Be sure to hear it tomorrow on NBC Radio. And listen to The Dinah Shore Show, featuring the Thrush from Nashville with another quarter-hour program of her lilting song interpretations. Tuesday evenings also bring mystery and adventure to the NBC airwaves with such thrill-packed programs as Dragnet, Barry Craig, and Rocky Fortune. Dragnet features true stories of your police force in action, with Jack Webb starring as Sergeant Joe Price. You'll hear the solution of an actual police case when you listen to Dragnet tomorrow. Hear Dragnet each week on the NBC Radio Network.
That you, McGee?
No, kiddo.
Dr. Gamble all right? He wasn't hurt.
With all his padding? Not a scratch, but the phone company's raising heck.
Oh, what's that complaint?
Well, that accident Doc had, he managed to avoid the other driver, but he ran into a telephone pole and he's put every phone in the downtown district out of commission.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night, Al.
NBC and Richard Hudnut, makers of the all-new Richard Hudnut Foam Permanent with Beauty Rinse Neutralizer, have brought you the Fibber McGee and Molly program transcribed, with Arthur Q. Bryan as Dr. Gamble and Nestor Piva as the man from the phone company. This is John Wald, inviting you to be with us again tomorrow night for another visit with Fibber McGee and Molly.
Laugh tonight with Can You Top This with Senator Ford on the NBC Radio Network.
The Fibber McGee and Molly Show. NBC and Tums present Fibber McGee and Molly transcribed. The show is written by Phil Leslie and Alf Goodman and directed by Max Hutto. Fibber and Molly will be with you in a minute. No reflection on your cooking, lady, but sooner or later, even in the best of families, someone gets heartburn, sour stomach, or greasy fullness. And take it from me, Don Wilson, that's the time you should have Tums, the famous Don't Wait relief on hand. You don't wait because Tums need no water, glasses, or mixing. Instead, they're eaten like candy. You don't wait because Tums neutralize excess acid in record time, so that miserable burning sensation or uncomfortable feeling starts going away right away. And Mother, listen, Tums are not water-soluble. Therefore, don't over-alkalize. Tums can't cause acid rebound. So don't wait for acid indigestion to strike in your house. Get Tums today and be prepared. So economical. Only 10 cents a roll for America's most distinguished name in the relief of acid indigestion, Tums for the tummy. Some of the world's best music these days comes from informal surroundings. While the music we are about to hear may not be the best, at least it would be hard to find more informal surroundings than Mr. McGee's shout.
Oh, I love Paris every moment. Boy, there's nothing like a brisk morning shower to set a guy up for the day. Oh, I love Paris. I don't know, Molly. I haven't stepped under it yet. Water's still pretty cold. Don't seem to heat up.
Are you sure you turned on the right faucet?
Hot water's the one marked H on it, ain't it?
Not anymore. Since you changed the washer the other day, the H knob is cold water, and the one marked C gives hot water and plays 2 choruses of Ricochet Romance.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I'll try the other one.
I'll be downstairs if you need anything. I want to see if the mail came.
What'd you say?
I said I'll be downstairs. I want to see if we have any mail.
Oh, okay, kiddo. Ah, there goes a good little life. I just hope DiMaggio did half as good as I did. Oh, I love Paris every moment. Ah, 1 bar of soap and 4 bars of music. That ought to do it. Now for a quick cold rinse. Yow! Where's that big towel? Oh, here it is. Sure gets cold standing on soaking wet. Nah, it never fails. Hey, Molly, the phone's ringing. Every time you try to take a shower, the dad rat a phone. Hey, Molly! Hey, Molly, the phone! Oh, done it. She must be outside. I never saw it to fail. I'm coming. Let me get this towel wrapped around me, will you? Dad rat a phone every time. Hello? Hello, I'm coming. McGee speaking. Who? Frank Ingram. Who the heck is he? Oh, you're the man that bought Hector Howell's house. Oh, yeah, our next-door neighbor. I and my wife have been meaning to come over and introduce ourselves, but what say? Oh, yeah, come on over. Oh, in an hour or so. I just got out of the shower. Sure, any kind of advice you need, Mr. Ingram, I got it. Right. Bye. Want some advice, eh? I wonder what the... That you, Molly?
Yes, I was outside getting the mail. Did the phone ring?
Well, I didn't run downstairs here dressed in a towel to get my membership card in a nudist colony, kiddo. What you laughing at?
I can't help it.
What you mean?
You look like a pair of pliers wearing a bandage.
What?
You better get back upstairs before you catch cold.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right.
I'll go along and lay out your clean things.
Okay.
Who's on the phone?
Ingram, guy next door. You know the one that bought Hector Howell's house a few weeks ago?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him in the yard a few times, and he seems very pleasant.
Yeah?
I wonder if he knows he's the first neighbor we've had in 20 years that you didn't personally supervise his moving in.
Yeah. We were down getting our license plates that day.
Oh.
Well, my clothes are in the bathroom. See if you can find me a clean shirt, will you?
What did he want? Want to know why you haven't borrowed his lawnmower?
No, as a matter of fact, my dear, he's coming over to ask my advice on something.
Advice?
Yep. I'm fairly well known around town, of course, as a man who's free with advice. About anything.
True. Too true.
Hey, these slacks must be shrinking. They're getting pretty tight. Maybe I ought to change cleaners.
Or eating habits.
Huh?
Here's your clean shirt.
Oh.
It was under that box of candy you had hidden in your drawer.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like I say, Ingram probably wants my advice on financial matters. You know, what to do about inflation in the stock market, stuff like that there.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably heard that I'm a man of foresight and vision, man who keeps in touch with the nation's economy, man who is constantly broadening his horizons.
It's not your horizon I'm worried about. It's your equator. If Mr. Ingram wants to talk about inflation, you're his boy.
What'd you say, Molly?
There's more fun with the McGees shortly. The importance of education and good schools is an American tradition that goes back to the earliest days of our nation. The fact is, our whole way of life is based upon our public school system. And in a way, our pride in our schools is as important as our pride in our country. Today, a serious situation in our schools is arising, caused by an unprecedented increase in our population. In many communities, new and larger school buildings are needed. Classes are crowded. There just aren't enough teachers to do a good job. In other communities, school facilities are old-fashioned and inadequate. It's up to every citizen to find out just what the conditions are in the schools in his community. If improvements are needed, join with others and see that those improvements are made. If you need help in improving conditions, write to the National Citizens Commission for Public Schools, New York City. They'll be glad to tell you what citizens in other communities are doing. That's the National Citizens Commission for Public Schools, New York City.
Then, of course, on the other hand, it may not be financial advice this fellow Ingram wants from me at all, Molly.
That's very possible.
Might be some great personal problem that he wants me to solve for him.
Mm-hmm. Maybe his thing's stopped up.
You know, I guess I don't quite realize the reputation I got around this town, kiddo.
I try not to think about it myself.
You got to admit it's flattering that although I and this guy Ingram have never met, when he needs some good sound advice or something of vital importance, he comes to me.
Well, we're his closest neighbors.
Whatever it is he wants advice on, financial matters, romance, when's the best time to set out his early crocuses, I'm the guy that'll give it to him.
I'm sure you will.
I always try to be a good neighbor to my neighbors. And any time I can help a neighbor by being neighborly, I figure it'll make that neighbor more neighborly to other neighbors.
Ah, yes.
Till after a while, we'll have a whole neighborhood full of neighborly neighbors, and with each neighbor getting neighborlier and neighborlier till this neighborhood gets to be the neighborliest neighborhood that every bunch of neighbors ever neighbored.
Come in, neighbor.
Good morning. My name is Frank Ingram.
Oh, sure. Come on in, Frank. We're Mr. and Mrs. McGee.
Oh, I'm happy.
I'm Mr. McGee. This is my wife, Molly. Molly, this is Mr. Ingram, our next-door neighbor.
How do you do, I'm sure.
Happy to know you, Mrs. McGee. We've been nodding to each other across the fence.
Yes, it's nice to know
Well,
you.
pull up a chair, Frank, and give us all the details of your problem. Whatever it is you need advice on, you come to the right guy.
Thank you. I'm pretty much a stranger in town.
Getcha. I was just saying to my wife, I says I try to be a good neighbor because the way I figure, if I'm neighborly with the neighbors, it'll make the neighbors neighborly with the... Huh? Oh, yeah. Now, what was the problem, Frank? Go ahead. Split.
Well, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I'm a pickle manufacturer, Mr. McGee.
Oh, a pickle maker, eh? Well, now, if you need advice on the pickle business, Frank, you come to the right guy. You know, I used to pack pickles in Peoria. In fact, I was the pet pickle packer of the pickle packing plant. Hmm? Oh, that's right. Go ahead, Frank.
Well, I don't need any advice about pickles, Mr. McGee. I know pickles.
Oh.
In the business 40 years. No, what I need is the name of a good realtor. I thought you might...
Realtor? Oh, you're not selling the pickle plant?
Oh, no. You see, I've retired.
Oh, good for you, but I don't quite understand.
Well, I'll try to explain my situation.
That might help.
You see, I retired this year, and Martha and I traveled a while. And a few weeks ago, we settled down here in Wistful Vista and bought the house next door there.
Mm-hmm.
I turned the pickle business over to Pierpont and Frank Jr., you see. But since I've gone, Helen and Alice have sworn never to speak to Patricia. And Mr. Simpson says he can't get the pickles out unless Elroy is transferred from the dill division to wart inspection. What would you do if you were me?
Well, frankly, Frank, I'd start all over on account of because you lost me in the dill division, and I don't...
I'm afraid I didn't make myself very clear, did I?
Oh, you made yourself clear, all right. We know who you are, but who's that other mob? You know, Pierpont and Frank Jr. and Helen and Mary and all.
Alice.
Oh.
I'll start over.
Don't leave out Elroy. He's the one I like.
Well, like I say, I bought the house next door there.
And you retired from the pickle business?
Right. I
left the business in the hands of my married sons, Pierpont and Frank Jr. They're married to Helen and Alice.
Oh, I see. And now they're not talking to each other.
And the husbands are sore at each other, too, and the business is in a pickle.
That's what my foreman, Mr. Simpson, wrote me. So what we've got to do, Martha and I, we've got to give up our house for a while and go back to Chicago. That's where the plant is. And settle the matter.
Martha's your wife?
No. My wife's name was Frida. She died many years ago.
Oh, that's too bad. Martha is your daughter, then?
No. Martha's my cocker spaniel.
Oh, her.
Like I say, I'll have to give up my house for about 6 months. I have to leave tomorrow noon, in fact.
Oh, that soon?
I thought you folks might put me in touch with somebody to handle the rental for me. Get the right kind of tenants, look after it for me. Thought I'd ask $125 furnished.
Sounds very reasonable.
And I'd be happy to give an agent 20 of that just to be sure my house is in good hands.
Yeah, 20 a month, huh?
Oh, a realtor wouldn't charge you that much, Mr. Ingram.
Oh, them realtors, though, they'll rent your house to anybody, Frank. What you need is somebody you can depend on, rely on. Somebody you can trust.
Here it comes.
Yes, I know.
Neighbor, you come to the right man. I'm not going to let a neighbor of mine fall into the hands of a bunch of strange realtors that you can't get the pickle business straightened out for worrying about your house. Because I try to be a good neighbor. And for $20 a month, I want to be neighborly. So you just leave the keys with us. And don't you worry, neighbor.
Say goodnight to Fibber and Molly in a moment. Comedy entertainment at its finest. That's what you'll hear tomorrow night on the NBC Radio Network. There's fast-paced comedy fun as Groucho Marx needles his contestants on radio's greatest quiz game, You Bet Your Life. There's a laugh a minute as Groucho trades barbed witticisms with his guests and asks some difficult questions before he shares the wealth of his jackpot. Listen and laugh with Groucho Marx on You Bet Your Life tomorrow night. And remember to tune for America's #1 family comedy program, The Great Gildersleeve, starring Willard Waterman as the befuddled head of Summerfield's water department. When Gildy mixes comedy situations with foamy, true-to-life happenings, you know you'll hear radio entertainment at its best. Wednesday night's the time. NBC is the network. Be sure to listen tomorrow. The same night, you can hear another true story from the front pages of America's newspapers on The Big Story. The Big Story is thrilling radio entertainment, and it's yours to listen to and enjoy every week. For the finest radio entertainment, always, always tune to the NBC Radio Network.
So he's making an inventory of the furniture and stuff, Molly, and we're going over there tomorrow and look over the house and pick up the keys.
I hope we won't be sorry. I'm not so sure.
All right, Tootsie, this will be the easiest $20 a month I ever made in my life. And besides, this way, we'll get to pick our own neighbors.
McGee.
Huh? Oh, is it that late already? Oh, well, good night.
Good night, all.
NBC and Tums have brought you the Fibber McGee and Molly program transcribed. Mr. Ingram was played by Jack Moore. This is John Wald inviting you to be with us again tomorrow night for another visit with Fibber McGee and Molly.
Laugh with Senator Ford and Can You Top This? Tonight on the NBC Radio Network.
The Fibber McGee and Molly Show. NBC and Richard Hutnut, makers of the all-new Richard Hutnut Foam Permanent with Beauty Rinse Neutralizer, present Fibber McGee and Molly transcribed. The show is written by Phil Leslie and Ralph Goodman and directed by Max Hutto. We'll join Fibber Molly in just a moment. There's been quite a discussion going on lately about the number of accidents that happen on some of our superhighways. The 60, 65-mile-an-hour roads have just been opened within the last few years, and they already have a large accident toll. These highways were built with the guidance of some of the nation's top safety and highway experts and include just about every possible safety precaution. In theory, we should have far fewer mishaps on them, and yet the accidents continue to pile up. Why? Well, many of these accidents are caused by slow-moving cars in the express lane. This forces the faster cars to swing across the road in order to pass. Continuous shifting from one lane to another because of these slower cars is especially difficult and dangerous at these high speeds. Slow drivers may not have an accident themselves, but they can cause other accidents. The National Safety Council urgently recommends that slow drivers keep to the right and let others pass. Be a safe driver by not having or causing accidents. Mr. and Mrs. McGee's next-door neighbor is leaving town for 6 months. And he needs an aggressive, wide-awake, reliable man to handle the renting of his house for him. At least that's what Mr. McGee told him yesterday. So, here's the aggressive, wide-awake, reliable man and his wife right now.
Come on, Peter. Ingram said he'd be leaving for the train in a few minutes and he wants to give us the house key.
I know, McGee. I just want to take my apron off and put my face on.
Well, hurry it up, will you? This ain't a social call. It's a business deal. He wants to show us the premises. Give us the keys so we can rent out the house while he's in Chicago.
I'll be right with you. You want me to look presentable, don't you?
Yeah, but I'm going to present you to the royal court. Gee whiz, you look fine.
All right. I'm just about ready. Put my coat, will you?
Already got it. It's right here. Hold out your arms out. That's it.
You know, I hope this thing turns out all right, McGee. After the push you gave that man yesterday, your neck is out like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Talk about renting a house these days. It's a swell deal. $125 a month rent he wants, and I keep $20 a month for commission.
You'll probably spend that much for aspirin. From what I hear about the headaches in the realty business.
All we got to do is run an ad in the paper and take our pick of the tenants we want.
Mm-hmm.
Probably find ourselves a nice, quiet old couple that don't drink, smoke, or throw wild parties. Just sit around reading, knitting, and listening to the radio all day with headphones on.
And then down in the cellar behind the coal bin, we find a printing press where the nice, quiet old couple prints pictures of Abraham Lincoln on pieces of green paper.
We've been seeing too many movies now. Too much TV. I hope we haven't held the Ingram up because his train leaves in about an hour, and by George, I don't...
Well, Mr. and Mrs. McGee, come right in.
Oh, hi.
I'm all packed and ready and waiting for the cab. You can sit down. I'll get the key.
Go on ahead, Mr. Ingram.
Yeah, take your time, Frank. Nice looking place.
Much nicer than when the house lived in. She was the worst.
What are you doing here? I thought I told you to wait in the basement. If you get off that chair, stop acting like that. We have company.
Wonder what that's all.
I don't know. Maybe.
That phone down, Bob. You hear me? Come back there with that phone.
Oh, my.
She said, go away if you need me. Grab her by the collar, will you?
This is the dollar? Oh, it's a Cocker Spaniel.
I got her, Mr. Ingram. Well, Martha, aren't you cute?
Yeah, well, here's your phone, Frank.
Oh, thank you. That dog is really spoiled. Can't do a thing with it. Oh, here are the house keys, Mr. McGee.
Good.
Now, this one is for the front door. This one's the back door. That one there's for the basement.
Oh, I see. What's this key here for? The long one.
Oh, that's the attic.
Oh.
I wish you'd just detach that one and put it away for me like it back. Don't give it to the new tenant. I have a lot of personal things stored up there, and I'd rather just keep it locked.
Oh, we won't go near.
Oh, I'll check it, though, 3 or 4 times a day to make sure everything's okay, Frank.
No. I'd rather nobody looked at it. Just leave the attic locked, please.
Okay. I and Molly will make out an inventory of the furniture here so we'll know everything's
Oh,
okay.
I almost forgot. Here's my address in Chicago, care of the pickle factory. Ingram and Sons Pickle. There's the card.
I'll keep it. And we'll mail the rent check to you there every month, Mr. Ingram.
Yeah, as soon as we get the right tenant for you, Frank. $125 a month, right?
Deduct your own 20 first, of course, like we discussed yesterday.
Oh, sure.
You two don't know how much I appreciate. Oh, there's my cab. I'll keep in touch with you. Thanks a lot.
No trouble at all, Frank. Glad to make them. Glad to do it for you.
Come on, Martha. Goodbye, Ho.
Goodbye, Mr. Ingram. I hope you get the picture business straightened out all right.
Yeah, and don't worry about that attic, Frank. We'll keep it locked. You betcha.
Well, he's gone, dearie.
Yeah.
Now, the first thing we'd better do is check over the house and make out an inventory, because we should write down the furniture. McGee.
Oh, I wonder what he's got in that attic.
Don't worry about the attic. We told him we'd keep it locked, didn't we?
Yeah, McGee.
Come on, let's make out an inventory. I've got a pencil and paper. You call out the furniture, and I'll write it down.
Back to it for Vista in a minute.
Hello, I'm your Richard Hudnut Beauty Advisor with news about a home permanent that lets you curl your hair to suit yourself. It's the new Richard Hudnut Home Permanent, and it gives you exactly the kind of wave or curl you happen to want. You get a choice of 3 different waving and drying methods, and exclusive Beauty Rinse Neutralizer assures you best results no matter which method you use. For instance, if you like a casual hairdo, use the Richard Hudnut Pin Curl method. If you want a deeper, firmer wave, follow the Richard Hudnut Salon method. Or for a step-saving way to get nice, stringy curls, try the Richard Hudnut On Curler method. You'll find the easy directions for all 3 methods right inside the new Richard Hudnut Home Permanent package. So you really can curl your hair to suit yourself. Just remember, it's the new Richard Hudnut Home Permanent, the only wave in the world with Beauty Rinse Neutralizer that gives you best results no matter which method you use.
One dining room table and 4 chairs. All right. What's next? McGee, will you keep your mind off of that attic and finish taking this inventory?
Gee whiz, Molly, why don't you just let me run up there and see that everything's okay in there? I won't touch him.
You promised the man you wouldn't unlock the door.
Hey, I could take a crowbar and jimmy it open. That wouldn't be unlocking it.
No.
Oh, come on, Molly. It won't hurt anything if I just open the attic door and take a peek.
It won't if anything like our hall closet. Come on with the inventory now. 1 dining room table and 4 chairs. What's next?
1 buffet.
1 buffet. This whole thing is so silly. A man has a few personal belongings locked away, and just because you ask him not to open that locked door, you won't be able to sleep night. And I'll tell you another thing.
What?
Neither will I. But we promised the man we wouldn't open that door, so let's keep our word. Okay?
Okay. 1 floor lamp. Marble base.
1 floor lamp.
Remember that friend of Uncle Dennis's in Peoria that had a spill in his attic, don't you?
Marble base.
While he was out of town one weekend, it blew up and it snowed shingles all over the south end of town. And Uncle Dennis wore a black crepe band on his arm for a month till we found another friend with a spill.
I hardly think Mr. Ingram has a spill up there. What's next?
We don't know the man very well, you know. 1 easy chair.
1 easy
We just bought the house a few weeks ago.
chair.
I read a story last week in Partly True magazine about a guy that kept a grizzly bear in his attic. He raised it from a pup, and when the guy disappeared one night, his wife called the cops, and he broke down the attic door and found the bear.
Oh, dear. Was the man... did they find him?
Not a sign of him. His wife got a phone call from him the next day. Had to go to Cleveland on business.
Oh, good.
But if Ingram was keeping a grizzly... Listen, you hear noise?
Yes, I did.
Well, what was it?
Oh, it's somebody at the front door.
Oh.
For goodness sake, stop being so dramatic. Answer the door, will you? I'll get on with the inventory. You never get through.
Sure wish he'd let me take a look at that attic on account of his health.
How do you do, sir? Your name's Ingram, ain't it?
Ingram?
I guess you're surprised how I knew your name. Well, sir, the mailman told me. I would have just looked on your doorbell button there, but I busted my glasses yesterday, so I asked the mailman. Frank B. Ingram, he said.
Frank B. Ingram, huh? Well, I got news for you and the mailman.
Yep, you gotta get up this side of breakfast to get ahead of me, Mr. Ingram. I thought I'd just stop by and introduce myself. I'm known as the old-timer to my friends. My customers call me Grocery Boy. I deliver the groceries, you see. That's why they call me
Grocery Boy. Yeah. Well, I'm happy to meet you, old-timer. You can just call me Frank if you like.
Well, thanks, Mr. Ingram. You can call me old-timer. I don't know if you folks ever use groceries, but if you ever need any, just give me a ring. I'll be glad to help out.
What's the matter?
You know, you look mighty familiar to me. Ever been in Smidlap, Iowa?
No.
Stagnant water, Texas.
No.
I know what it is. You look a lot like another customer of mine, Fibber McGee. Fibber McGee.
Never business in this neighborhood and broke his glasses, my dear. Calls himself the old timer. Mr. Engraving.
Oh, no.
This is my wife, old timer. Frida. Say hello to the old timer.
How do you do? I'm sure.
Well, I'll be another one.
Another what?
Familiar face. Now, I don't know about your husband, Mrs. Ingram, but I know I've seen you somewhere before.
Oh?
Have you ever been in Smidlap, Iowa?
No.
Standard Water, Texas.
No. I'll tell him, dearie. Don't tease the old timer.
Oh, I get it. You two are pulling my leg, huh?
Why, sure we are.
You Ingrams have been to Standard Water, Texas after all, eh? I knew I'd seen you and Miss Ingram before, Frank. You can't fool me, old timer.
But Mr. Old Timer.
Don't forget now, if you ever need any groceries, just call me. Come on.
Yeah, old timer. Hey, what?
Come on, let's get back to the inventory.
Right. We'll get the house all set this afternoon. First thing tomorrow, I'll run an ad and rent the joint.
I hope it's that easy.
I'll just say house for rent, a quiet couple with no attic. The lost attic is just as bad as no attic at all. Worse, in fact, because that bad attic is driving me attic happy.
Fibber and Molly will be right back. Each Thursday evening on NBC Radio, you're invited to join the fun on Truth or Consequences, America's #1 party game. Ralph Edwards is your host on Truth or Consequences, and the zany antics he springs on unsuspecting members of the studio audience makes his fun-filled show a listening treat. Another wonderful program on Thursdays is Eddie Cantor's Show Business Show. When Eddie steps before the NBC microphone to present his show business show, he brings with him a world of little-known information about some of America's greatest entertainers. You'll hear their recordings and stories about their careers on Eddie Cantor's Show Business Show. Roy Rogers adds to the pleasure-filled Thursday evening radio schedule on NBC when he presents his fine program from Paradise Valley and the Double R Bar Ranch. Along with Roy, you'll hear Dale Evans, Pat Brady, and the Whippoorwills for 30 minutes of action-packed adventure and thrilling Western music. It's the Roy Rogers Show for more entertainment on Thursdays over most NBC stations. Be sure to listen.
If you want to go wash up and do dinner, we'll be ready in about 5 minutes.
Okay, say, before it gets dark, though, I think I'll run next door and make sure we lock Ingram's house up good for the night, huh?
We locked everything.
Oh, I better double-check. Where's the key?
Put on the mantle.
Good, I'll just check the
If you don't need the attic key, though, I took it off the ring and put it away.
Okay, I'll walk up.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night, Al.
NBC and Richard Hutnut, makers of the all-new Richard Hutnut Home Permanent with Glutenose Neutralizer, have brought you the Fibber McGee and Molly program transcribed, with Bill Thompson as the old-timer and Jack Moyles as Mr. Ingram. This is John Wald, inviting you to be with us again tomorrow night for another visit with Fibber McGee and Molly.
Tomorrow night, enjoy the Roy Rogers Show on the NBC Radio Network.
The Fibber McGee and Molly Show. Every day at this time, NBC brings you Fibber McGee and Molly transcribed. It was written by Bill Leslie and Ralph Goodman and directed by Max Butler. Fibber and Molly will be with you in a minute. The fighting is over in Korea, but the battle to save lives goes on, both abroad and on the home front. There is no substitute for whole blood or serum albumin in treating the ill and injured.
and the need of your blood donation is as great as ever. It is needed for the thousands of wounded men in our military hospitals who are still fighting for a chance to live, and it is needed on the home front in the fight against polio. In recent months, gamma-globulin, a blood derivative, has proved to be one of our most potent weapons in combating infantile paralysis. All blood collection activities have now been integrated into a single national blood program, and this program requires the support of our entire population if blood is to be available when and where needed. Giving blood is painless and does not take much time. And the feeling of having given to the well-being of a fellow man compensates many times over for the little time and trouble spent. Why don't you visit your local American Red Cross agency and make a blood donation? Ask a friend to go with you. Make one trip serve double. Did you ever try to make up a newspaper ad describing a house for rent and then get it down to 3 lines of type instead of half a page? Well, Mr. McGee has offered to find a tenant for the house next door. And he's letting out the ad right now as we join Fibber McGee and Molly.
Hey, Molly.
Yes, sir.
You know any shorter way to say exclusive section of town than just exclusive section of town?
Are you still working on that after Mr. Ingram's house?
I'm trying to hold it down so that I don't question it. Still, I want to make the place sound good.
Very worthy objection.
Hmm?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Make this place quick thing and start collecting my $20 a month commission.
What have we got down so far?
Well, I have to deviate a little to get it all in 3 lines, but I think it's all here. I'll read it to you.
Go ahead.
For rent, 2 bedrooms and den, beautifully furnished. Ideal for small, quiet families. Reasonable rent.
Well, that sounds
Wall-to-wall carpet. Large picture window with a beautiful view of the fenced yard with adjacent garage. Perfect for 1 car in storage or 2 cars if preferred. Inquire next door to whom is interested. You.
Are you sure, or are you just taking a breath?
Oh, that's it. Now, if I can just add exclusive section of town, all we have to do is squeeze in our phone number and it's ready to go.
Where? The sardine factory?
You think I'd redo it for me?
Oh, McGee, that's no ad. It's just a bunch of mixed-up letters.
Oh.
Looks like somebody fell downstairs with a travel bin.
Seems a bit unclear, my dear.
Unclear is unquestionably and undoubtedly the unexpelled understatement of the year. Well, you'd better start over.
It seems very clear to me. I don't know why they did it. Oh, I know what. There's somebody at the door, and I'll buy the ad on them. If they can read it, I'll take it to the paper. Otherwise, come in.
Good idea.
Hello, sir.
Well, Mr. Wimpole.
Hi, Ellen. You're just in time. You can settle a little argument for us.
Oh, goodness, no. I wouldn't want it, Buddy. You two go right ahead. I'll come back another time.
Oh, it's nothing like that, Mr. Wimpole.
Yeah, come on back in here. It's all right.
Mad at you?
No. Should Molly be mad at me?
Well, I thought maybe you refused to do the dishes or made the bed with wrinkles in it this morning.
I don't do dishes or make the beds. Molly does all that.
She does? How about the dusting? Who does that?
I do, Mr. Wimpole. Wives do all that kind of work.
My goodness. How long has this been going on? The last time I took a trip out of town.
Oh, you been away, Wimp?
I went out to the country to visit my aunt. I try to spend a little time with him whenever I can.
Oh, that's nice.
Sweetie Face won't let me keep them in the house, so I hid them under a rock at Dugan's Lake. I have quite a large collection of ants, really. Red ants and black ants.
Oh, them ants.
Yes, of course. Oh, you what I meant?
Yeah. Molly's got an aunt Sarah that I think she must have come out from under the rock. A black rock.
Never mind about my answer. Come on, show Mr. Wimple the thing there.
Okay. Here, Wimp. Read this and see if it makes any sense to you.
What is it?
Don't tell him. Just read it,
Yeah,
Mr. Wimple.
Buddy. Says, 2 degrees GT. West, west. 1.5. Word, 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 word. I next door. 2 cups. Oh, this is interesting.
It is?
Yes. I've seen these things in museums. A tightly translated old gypsum powder from the King of King Cutters, look. How did you find it, Mr. McGee? This is fascinating stuff. And very highly glad.
Okay, skip it. You and Molly, I'll start all over. But doggone it, I gotta hurry. I want to get this ad down to the newspaper office in time for today's paper.
with the McGees shortly. One of the outstanding characteristics of a democracy is the right of each individual to worship according to his conscience and his beliefs. The churches of America symbolize the belief of many that through community worship we can gain the moral strength and courage to lead a good life. They symbolize the important role which religion has played in the shaping of our nation. Each day, thousands turn to their religious leaders for personal guidance and for material help. Without religion, many of these people would have nowhere to turn in their hour of need. All of us recognize the important role played during the war by chaplains of all faiths in helping our soldiers to adjust to military life. Thus, it is manifest that religion is an important part of the moral fiber of America. It is the need to worship which drove our forefathers to leave their native lands and come here. Let us not forget the importance of the church in our lives. Let us, through recognition of moral and spiritual hungers, guide ourselves and our families toward a way of life which bespeaks peace and harmony and goodwill toward all men.
Watch where you're going, you lunkhead.
Goodness. Get that car. What's the big hurry?
I want to get to that newspaper office with this ad before they start rolling the festival.
Well, let's keep it so we can walk into the step, not to carry it. Slow down, you're making me nervous. I hate to be such a nag, but... Oh, that's why you slowed down.
Let me do the talking, kiddo. I know how to handle these guys.
You're not going to pull out that picture of a motorcycle policeman with your head pasted on him, telling it's your day off again. You remember what happened last time?
If we had some decent deal around the house, I'd have had... Oh! Is that me you wanted to pass the time of day with?
Well, now, I will admit I get a bit lonesome riding around on this motorcycle all day, but that isn't why I stopped you. May I see your driver's license, please?
Well, now, sure, it will be a pleasure, my lad. There you are. Anything to help our fine boys in blue.
Oh, dear, he's using brogue number 33.
I beg your pardon, ma'am.
I say it's a fine day. Sure in the air it smells a bit like old Callahan, don't you think so, me boy?
Oh, yes, ma'am, and so it does.
What am I doing, McGee?
Well, which?
McGee is the name, I see.
That's right. And this is my good wife, Molly McGee.
Molly Driscoll, as was.
From the county of Cork, no less.
You don't say. Well, now, before you start singing a chorus of When Irish Eyes Are Smiling, let me say that I wasn't going to give you a ticket when I stopped you just now.
You weren't?
No. I just wanted to warn you about your back wheel. It's a bit loose, and that could be dangerous on a sharp turn.
Oh, well, now, it's mighty obliging. I mean, thanks.
Oh, that's quite all right. And if I don't catch you speeding before then, happy St. Patrick's Day to you both.
And to you, may your cows never go dry.
Sure, he was a fine broad of a lad.
Heck out of me. Wish he'd mind his own business. Come on, Molly, there's the classified desk over there.
I hope we're in time for today's paper, because the sooner we get that house rented, the better.
The Whisper Vista Gazette. May I help you?
Yeah, we got a house for rent, sis, and we want to rent it out, so we'd like to run a for rent ad in your houses for rent column.
Oh, that's a very good place for an ad of that type, sir. Yes, indeed. In houses for rent.
We thought so.
The Gazette is quite proud of the results achieved through our classified advertising department.
Yeah, well...
There are millions of things that happen through our want ads, really.
Oh.
One of our clients ran an ad in the Personals last week. I remember the wording exactly. It said, "Will handsome man who smiled at blonde on a streetcar meet me Saturday noon at Wall's Malt Shop? I'll be wearing white sweaters."
Isn't that true? Did the man show up all right?
Oh, there were 200 men jammed into that malt shop by 11 o'clock. And the place sold out completely in an hour.
Yeah, but the girl, did she find the guy she was looking for?
Walt ran the ad, sir.
Oh.
I understand that when he sat behind the counter in a white turtleneck sweater and started frying hamburgers, they nearly tore the place down. Because they were...
Yeah. Now, look, sis, that's all very fascinating, but how much time we got before you close up the ads for the day?
The deadline for today's paper is noon, sir. You have 15 minutes. If you'd like to read your copy to me, I'll take it.
We'll be back in a minute. You come over here, Mom.
Where are we going?
Just to this desk here. Once we got time, I'm going to check this copy over again, try to cut the wording down. What? That's all. I charge $1 a line.
Let me see it. I'll read it over.
Yeah, read it out loud.
All right. House for rent. 2 bedrooms and